Good Monday morning, everybody. We're just rocking out over here, having a good old time on the No More Mondays podcast, the show where we believe that you should have a thriving career and amazing life. And what we do here is explore the human side of modern work so that you can design the career, the business, and the life you love. And in case you haven't met me, I am your host, Angie Callen, and today's episode is brought to you by Scary Good, Discovering Life Beyond the Sunday Scaries. It is my book. It is officially out there in the world. And if you are ready to challenge how you are thinking about life and work, I encourage you to pick it up at scarygoodread.com because it is a scary good read. Now, on with today's show. Today, I am joined by Tony Lloyd, digital marketing strategist, founder of Pathfinder Digital Marketing, and one of the many AI-enabled humans I was very lucky to meet last fall at AI Marketing World. As his nickname implies, Tony lives in the world of tech, tools, platforms, and digital growth. He even has a podcast called the Tech Tony Podcast. But don't worry, we are not necessarily deep diving into how to improve your SEO, although maybe we will talk a little bit about that. Today, we're going to go beneath tactics because we are living in a time where every week there's a new tool. Every week there's a new AI model. Every week there's a new assumption about how to use the AI model, a new strategy that promises to wave a magic wand and fix all of our life's problems overnight. But it can be really overwhelming for people to navigate this kind of stuff. So today, what I want to talk about is how we're going to, as humans, stay grounded in this digital world while also leveraging the technology that we are so lucky to have at our fingertips. But we want to do that without losing our voice, our sanity, or our values. And that is what Tony is here to help me empower you to do today. Tony, welcome to No More Mondays.
Thanks for having me, Angie. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah. So little spoiler alert, Tony is still wearing the Humans Still Matter what do they call wristband that I gave out at AI Marketing World like 6 months ago. So my life is complete.
That's right. I'm not wearing it just because of our call. I haven't taken it off since you gave it to me.
See, that's why this guy's here, because humans still matter. And speaking of humans still mattering, at an event called AI Marketing World, that event was a little bit like drinking from a fire hose of innovation. Every speaker, every conversation was fast-paced, scale, optimize, build a digital clone, do this, make less time, and do like all these things, do. And I took away some very excellent things that have definitely helped me embrace AI at a higher level. But I also started really thinking about how exhausting it can be to kind of navigate all this kind of stuff. So I'm curious on your take, Tony, of like, what do you see happening right now in this digital AI space? And what should we be thinking about as business owners navigating it?
Well,
loaded. Let's just go there right off the bat.
Well, I like to be the not the bearer of bad news, but the common the voice that speaks differently, because, and I will argue this with people, I also own an IT company, and what I'm seeing happening now that I've had these vibe coders that spit up this code, and then there are things that are being regulated. It's called we have what's called the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. They are the governing arm of the United States government that maintains the internet. I say that in my quotation marks if you're not watching the video here. Maintains the internet and the things of the internet. And what I'm seeing is some of these vibe coders are getting in trouble because their code is not up to FTC regulations, especially if it's something that needs to be HIPAA compliant. So they're reaching out to me to fix their code. And I love Perplexity. I love Google. I'm writing some code myself. I use it itself for work. And what I'm seeing is when these vibe coders come up to me like, hey, I'm getting in trouble because I'm not properly maintaining user data information, or my code has been compromised, or my little app vibe code, my little thing that I vibe code, my application has been compromised. I'll go look at their code, and I see this, and we're going to stick to Perplexity. This isn't any hit on them, but what I see is from an end user perspective, Perplexity can spit something out with damn near 80% finished product, which looks from the end user was good. From a back end user, the coder, a lot of their code is out of date practices. And I go in there manually fixing it. and then using my own AI to like look at the code and try to find the other bugs and issues that are there. So let me put it this way. So I have that issue that I see a lot of these. That's starting to happen because there's a lot of vibe coders out there. There's a lot of people that are just making these codes and they're saying them out to the public, and they don't understand that there are regulations in this industry, and then they're getting in trouble.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing. There's the last one that was Clawbot or something like that, whatever it was.
Yes, it's the new one everybody's raving about.
The owner, the creator of Clawbot, as of 2 weeks ago, and I think he just said people using Clawbot had to understand, and he has it listed somewhere on his website, there is no regulations or security systems coded into the baseline of Clawbot. So if you're using it, let me put it this way. If Fortune 500 companies with a team of dedicated IT experts have a hard time maintaining their own internal AI, what hope do we have?
We have. Yeah.
As
Which
everyday people.
And I'm glad you left off there, because I'll kind of take this back up for a second. Only because my mom is sitting out there going, what the hell is vibe coding and Claude, right? Hi, Mom. And happy birthday. It is her birthday. This will air a little after, but hey, happy birthday, Sonny. Really what we're talking about, and this is a very good specific example, is the idea that technology, and especially now that AI is here, it can enable us to get ourselves into like sticky situations that we as humans don't actually have the knowledge to support. And I think that's something we need to be cautious of.
And I live, breathe, and eat in this world. I mean, with digital marketing, with my IT side, we use Manus AI, a Gemini notebook, and I've used Perplexity here and there as well. My favorite personally being Manus, if you guys are curious. That's what I like to use. We'll see what happens because Facebook just like bought them or something. So Mark Zuckerberg, if you're listening to this podcast, don't fuck up Manus AI, please.
You basically just jinxed that one, Tony.
Yeah, but I still have a hard time keeping up with it because there's always just something. It's a thing, and it's always there, and it's something new. And I'll use, for example, like working on Google My Business Listing, which is a very old platform. It's been there for years, but even as a product specialist, I have a hard time getting help and working on it. With a system that's been here for years, we have a hard time understanding AI and keeping up with it, what it can or cannot do and its capabilities, and making sure we implement it safely.
Yes. I actually was curious. You led me somewhere perfect, because there is like almost an emotional cost, or there is an emotional component to this idea of like, I have to keep up with all the technology and I have to like do all of the things. What is that cost, and how do we avoid spending it?
It's exhausting to keep up with it. As a marketer, we get what's called data fatigue. It's a real thing. And I have to get up and just walk away from my computer and stare at a tree for like 5 minutes.
Trees.
Because I like businesses that are integrating AI, they're using it. Businesses, AI, I wouldn't say AI is coming for your job, but people that integrate AI are going to come for your job.
Yes.
But then, like, I get clients that'll ask ChatGPT a question and they'll copy and paste their response in an email as if it's their own. I'm like, stop it.
We can sniff that out right away.
Yes.
And also, if you are paying a human to advise you, please don't copy and paste an AI generated response into an email and tell them that it is smarter than what the human knows.
Or at least try to make it not look AI generated. Remove all the emojis and stuff that AI spits up with everything, because it's annoying. And I was talking to my CEO, Tim Tompkins, about this, and ChatGPT is the new WebMD, but of everything.
That is the best analogy I've ever heard.
Yes.
Because we all remember when WebMD first came out and you could go diagnose yourself with everything from a hangnail to cancer.
Yeah, you're gonna die. That's what. And
now, ChatGPT can basically do the same. And as a digital marketer, this is probably the nerdiest conversation I've had on No More Mondays. But as a former engineer who loves people and loves a good N8 and automation, this is kind of fun. But you bring up a good point that is like, we basically all have access to this now. It's our choice whether and how we use it, which is something we'll get into later. We can all generate content. We can all automate workflows. It kind of in a way leveled the playing field, but that also means that we can just exist in this sea of sameness. And so now that we're in this ecosystem where all these tools are basically democratized, how do we do this differently? And how do we make sure we still stand out instead of just copy paste in ChatGPT?
As always, and this is like in like Facebook's regulations, real, unfiltered, unedited content will always rank better than anything else that can be produced. I mean, I know when I was reading your welcome email about the podcast that you say we record this, we don't edit it. I prefer that. I don't edit my content hardly ever, besides like a few things from like CapCut and things like that. Let's put a song in the background, that type of stuff. But like I said, I like businesses that are learning to use AI. I could see that they're trying to make an AI post, and you tell that AI post, but at least they're freaking posting something. It helps, but use it to fill in the gaps as an aid, not the actual work. Chances are, whatever industry you're in, ChatGPT isn't going to be able to do it all, or Gemini or Perplexity, whoever you're choosing. It's not going to do it all. You still need a person in place. And for example, yesterday I posted an email blast. Everybody internally in my company knows I can't spell. I code all day. The English language is a second language to me. And my buddy sent me an email. Like, hey, you spelled higher wrong. You spelled as higher, like an airplane's higher in the air instead of higher. And I was
instead of H-I-R-E.
Well, too late now, because I was writing it and I didn't make my admin look it up, and I was in a hurry, get my email newsletter out. There we go. And then I messed it up. But here's the thing. It gets people talking more than when I make a post on the email newsletter that's fully AI generated. And so it's that weird funny integration. A lot of content creators are doing it now, not purposely, or maybe they are, I don't know, where they're just not correcting the spelling of the auto-generated captions because they're like, it catches people's eyes.
Like literally, authenticity is beating automation. I have a funny story that I just connected the dots with what you just said. One day last week, an email went out as part of like a funnel I have that to a group of people that went to an event. And there was an email queue that never actually got written. And so it was just a template that was stuck in there. And I got more freaking responses to a template that was missing a scheduling link because it was just completely an unedited template from ActiveCampaign and not actually an email I wrote. I got more responses from that than the actual emails I spend all this time writing, because people are gravitating towards things that are so clearly human that it behooves us to be very clearly human.
Mm-hmm. That's why a lot of things, and it's getting harder and harder every day to tell the difference. AI is getting good. It's getting good at real live images, but the internet, as much as the internet, Google and Bing, for example, love their AIs, they're also training their search engines to catch the AI slop and de-rank it. And I'm using AI slop as the general terminology of all AI content. Not all of it's bad, but it's just Google throws onto one bucket, and they even said themselves in their how to rank on their SEO terms. If a blog is written more than 80% by AI, it's not going to rank, regardless of how good that blog is.
And regardless of how well your GPT is trained to write like your voice, it's still going to pick up on that.
Yes, it is trained to recognize it. And the rule of thumb for verbiage on a website is to say blog in general, but verbiage on your website, 80% of it cannot be written by AI. Google has openly said this. And in my company, we use AI to aid us on our writing.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's written by a person.
Yes. And you just said exactly what I was thinking. And that is that, these tools are exactly that. They are tools. They enable, they enhance, but they don't replace, which is why what Tony said a few minutes ago about the fact that like AI is not coming for your job. The human who knows how to be AI enabled it's a displace, not a replace. And when you treat it as a replacement is when you get into this like sticky stuff of, oh my gosh, could this person spit out more LinkedIn posts that are copy pasted out of ChatGPT? You can use it to create it all day long, but rewrite them in your own voice. And if you don't know your own voice, read it out loud. And if it doesn't sound like something you'd say, then it's a little probably to AI, right? Because this whole like personal branding thing as business owners is not about this perfect polished thing anymore, right? Like you said, underproduced and raw actually resonates better right now.
Absolutely. When we work with websites on our clients, I tell them, hey, for your website, you want the professional pictures, you want the professional headshot, things like that. Go to a photographer, go to a professional videographer, go get those headshots done, go get some nice action photos of you doing work. For the rest of everything else, is whip your phone out, make content, and then I get content creation is tiring. Trust me, I have a social media coach, and he is on me all the time with the lack of content that I make. Make your content and then use some of the AI generated stuff to help fill in the gaps in between your content creation. I've been there as a business owner where I'm just like, crap, I haven't posted to Facebook today. So I'll open up Manus AI. I'll have it generate me a post. I'll have it post on my behalf, and there, I've done it for the day. But for the rest of the stuff,
it's great for overcoming blank page syndrome.
Yes.
Which I think gets into this idea of how do we individually or because I'm sure that people talk to you about this, clients, right? They come in and they're like, Tony, help our digital marketing efforts. Where is AI going to come in? How do I use it? And so like, how do we decide how to be thoughtful in our adoption of AI, even beyond the at least edit your shit?
Well, I'm probably going to piss off a lot of these SEO guys, but let's take ChatGPT versus Google search for an example. ChatGPT has roughly about 400,000 daily users on the platform, whether it's paid or free, 400,000 daily users. That doesn't mean those users have the intent being the keyword here, to use ChatGPT as any type of a search engine. They're probably just making videos and stuff. Help me respond to this email. We are still looking at Google search. I think it's I should know this stat on my head. I'm about to give a lecture about it tomorrow. It's about 84 billion searches per day are conducted on Google search. 72% of those searches are small business related. So their search is probably relevant to you, the person listening to this podcast or watching this podcast.
Oh.
Yes, even though ChatGPT has grown like 350% in the last 12 months or whatever it is, that doesn't mean the person has the intent to conduct the right search that can lead ChatGPT to your website and serve up information in it. Google search is still huge. And I have I'm running a case study right now, which will probably be out next month on LinkedIn, about showing 2024 data versus 2025 Google search and ChatGPT search and traffic increase. There is an increase in traffic. You should be not worried, but working on optimizing your website and your stuff for AI search traffic. AI is here to stay. It's a block that you need to understand and insert into your work stack so that you're ranking for it properly. Now, all these gurus are like, SEO's dead, ChatGPT's blah, blah, blah. That shut up. No, it's not. Shut up.
This is why I love Tech Tony, because also I do not subscribe to most shock marketing type things that say AI is dead, digital marketing is dead, right? The shock value one-liners. It's too absolute. And the numbers validate it. What'd you say? 84 billion a day on Google versus 400 million
users. And that doesn't mean 400 million people are actively using ChatGPT. Are intentively using it as a search engine?
Yeah, if you're a math person, my mind is breaking that down to a percentage that's quite far apart with the amount of chats that you think about users versus Google searches with intent to engage. And that's really important. Now at the same time, I think what you said about the fact that we can't stick our heads in the sand and pretend like AI and AI driven search isn't going to increase in the future, because this stuff isn't going anywhere, but don't react.
Yeah. I have clients that are international companies that do get some leads from ChatGPT. And that's great.
I do.
Optimize for it. Yeah, we optimize for it, and it's great for it. One of those websites we created, my client came up to me and he's like, the last lead I got, they said they found me on ChatGPT. But here's the thing, his website's been live for like a year. it's a small town that he lives in. So like the one person in that town that used ChatGPT found him. I'm like, okay, like look, like really as a business owner, when you're, I'm wearing a shirt that says that's not very data driven of you. People are just making
Which is
decisions
amazing.
without looking at the data.
Yep.
Look at your Google Analytics at the minimum baseline and see what hopefully your analytics is set up properly, but look at it and see what is it telling you? Where is your traffic coming from? You'll have a better idea of where to put your organic effort and your paid efforts as well. Do we need to throw more money at Facebook? Do we need to edit our Google Ads budget? Do we need to work on our SEO, whatever it is? Or do we need to move to another platform? I have a client of mine in England. They sell luxury ties. Their cheapest tie is $400. We have their website, Shopify, Google Ads, SEO, blah, blah, blah. We looked at the data, and we have moved some of their efforts to organically posting on Pinterest. And now they're getting more leads selling luxury ties off of Pinterest.
Well, because if you didn't know out there, everyone, Pinterest is where all middle-aged women go to buy the solution to their problem. Still.
Yes. The average user
I know,
on
because
Pinterest,
it is still the main place I go for recipes.
Yeah, the average user on Pinterest is female between the ages of 30 and 65 with a median household income of $275,000 or more. For some people, it makes sense for them to just post on Pinterest.
So, and I'm going to exploit your T-shirt. That isn't very data driven of you. If you are a small business owner out there, you've got to know numbers. And I don't mean just how much are you spending on your ads and what are they converting, but you also need to know where your clients are coming from and where your leads come from offline and referrals and all of those different channels so that you can improve the right places versus just assuming, oh, I need more leads, I'm going to pay Google more money. Right. Yeah. That could be an abyss really, really fast, which all of these things like
emotional.
Yes.
I don't feel like this is working. Well, let's I get that a lot. I don't feel like this is working. I had a come to Jesus meeting with a client of mine yesterday. And here's the thing. I love data and I love tracking things. That's my thing. I track everything. And my client told me, I don't feel like this is working. I don't feel like we're getting leads. And so I opened up their call tracking system. And I saw that my client hasn't logged into their call tracking dashboard for 4 months. And I just kind of looked at him like, dude, look at these leads that are in here. And it opened up his eyes like, oh, like I am getting phone calls. I am getting leads. I'm not following up with them.
Oh, I have a question on follow-up. Have you seen the need for, and I don't know how much of this data you're exposed to, but I have seen a much greater need to follow up with potential clients because it is taking longer and more touches for them to make the decision to actually buy once you have your kind of like core sales conversation. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if you have data that's pointing to that as more than a feeling.
Well, in my company, as we're still growing, I am the bottleneck when it comes to that. I'm the one in charge of sales. And looking at my calendar, I know, right? Looking at my calendar, I'm busy. And so I'm like, we're at a point where I'm talking to my CEO about where we're like, we need to hire a salesperson. But I'm against hiring a salesperson because I don't like salespeople that vomit words. Like
it feels less human for people.
Yeah, a real popular term that I hear other salespeople, especially like for some reason, our local TV station teaches them this word where they're like, we can geofence your ads. I'm like, stop saying that. No small business is geofencing anything here. And so, yes, it is taking longer to have a lot more follow-ups and touch points after that initial sell. I don't know if it's me or if it's actually just the economy and how the data things are flowing right now. But I know for sure my fault. I have been the bottleneck on that department.
So it feels that way, and also the facts point right back at you. I feel you on that front.
Before this phone call, I actually just did like 8 follow-up emails. I'm like, oh boy, I need to be following up with
taking my own advice, things that we are really bad at as business owners.
We struggle too. And it's just the thing. We also run businesses and have to deal with employees and clients and our own crap as well. I'm a single dad with a child with special needs. I got to deal with that too sometimes. Like I get, we're people too, and I feel like clients sometimes forget that.
Yes. And none of us are invincible from all of these things, right? I think a lot of times it feels like just as much as technology enables us to do, more in less time, it's also made life and business more complicated at the same
Mhm.
time.
When I ask my clients, I was like, "Hey, I need you to create me a 10-second video so we can use it for your Google ads." I see the look on their face. I'm like, "Bro, I'm not asking to make your life harder. I get it too, because I also have to make a new video for my own Google ads as well, and I haven't done it yet."
And no, you're not allowed to spend 40 minutes and do 100 takes for a 10-second video.
Or make ChatGPT make you a video, or what?
Yeah, no, none of those are allowed.
Nano
Sorry.
banana. I'm not gonna take that.
Sorry, I am just not adopting the whole AI video clone world yet.
Tell me about it.
I can't get there. What would you say, and what do you say to people who feel really intimidated by all of the technology, all of the options, the presence in AI? Let's give some people some advice after this nerdy conversation of like, what do you tell somebody who feels like they're either behind or intimidated?
Well, we feel the same way. As a Google data engineer, I feel the same way. So we're right there with you in that same boat. I had a conversation with some business owners about that, and what I recommend doing is three things. One, make sure you have a business coach, someone that you can fall back on and ask questions to in your industry.
Hi.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for the
I have a social media
unprovoked
marketing
shameless
coach.
plug.
Yeah. In my company, for me, I have a social media marketing coach. I have two different business coaches that I meet with as well. I have people that hold outside of my business that hold me responsible for the actions of my business and make sure that they're not being nice to you, that they hold you responsible for the actions of your business as well. That's the truth.
Yep.
You have to have that ugly, unwanted look into your company and what's wrong. Half the problem, like I just said, it's you. I'm the bottleneck.
Yeah.
I know I am.
Yeah.
And then sit down with someone that is in this industry, like there's your shameful plug, like me, who you can sit down with your business and take a look and holistic approve a non-emotional holistic approach at your business and be like, hey,
Yep.
these are some of the areas I see holes in. This is what I recommend doing. You either do it yourself, hire someone on Fiverr, or hire me to do it,
Yep.
something like that. I've told business owners, if you're not going to hire me to post on social media and you're not going to post on social media, go to fiverr.com, pay someone $100 to do it because they're going to do a better job than you.
Because at least it's getting done.
At least it's getting done. And then when it comes to AI, there's so many choices. Like for me, what my AI journey was at the beginning, we were using Gemini when it was Google Bard back in the day.
Oh yeah, I remember Bard.
Yeah.
What was the there was a Jasper. I used Jasper way back in the OG, like the OG wasn't very good, but was the predecessor. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we were using Bard. And what I tell people is for about a month on my computer, I had ChatGPT, I had Manus, I had Gemini, I had Perplexity, and there was one more with the whale. I forgot what it was called.
Oh, because this was before Claude, I think.
Yeah. So this was before Claude, and I had them open, and I would ask, and it took time for 30 days. I would ask each one the same question. I would just give them all the same task while I was working, be like, well, maybe AI can help me with this. And I would do that. And then I just saw which one I liked, which one I didn't like. And by default, Gemini is integrated into our system as a digital marketing agency. Gemini is in Google Ads, it's in analytics and Search Console, but integrated by default. So I don't have to download stuff and give it to my AI to audit. So I use Gemini by default. And I do enjoy it. But I ended up falling on Manus AI, and I was like, great, this does more of what I wanted or needed to do for my agency.
Yeah.
And so that's at the end of 30 days, that's what I decided to choose. And I pay for Manus AI and I pay for Gemini as well. So those are the ones I fell down on and choosing myself. As a business owner, you should do the same thing and just for 30, it's going to be work for 30 days, have these AIs open. Your electric bill might go a little high, but have these AIs open.
Sorry, environment.
Yeah. All play with them all, give them all the same question and look at it. I like this, I don't like that. And try to train them on what you need in your work. And then at the end of 30 days, pick one that you like and then stick with it. Stick with it. I hate how people are using this and they hear the buzz phrase, oh, ChatGPT is
Yep.
dead, Gemini is doing this now, and then they drop
Yep.
ChatGPT and they go to Gemini and they have a shitty experience. Well, yeah, you're gonna have a shitty experience because it's not trained.
It's not trained to you. Exactly. Yeah. And I think that there's a really good point there is it is work. And that goes back to what we were talking about. Like, this isn't just a broad scope, roll it out, broad scope, flip a switch and just replace every human aspect, of this thing. You even heard Tony say, literally, bring humans into your business with you, because at the end of the day, that's what the humans still matter. There's a reason I made that thing. And if all you do is talk to ChatGPT all day, good luck getting out of that freaking loop. Yeah. At some point, you have to have a human come in to keep you accountable, because ChatGPT and its sycophancy or generative AI and its sycophancy, even the ones that aren't as bad as ChatGPT, are still trained to give you what you want, even if you tell them not to give you what you want. Right. And so at some point, you need to bring humans into the fold, whether that's through accountability, whether that is through humanizing your things or doing stuff that you wouldn't do otherwise, whether it's business coach, whether it's digital marketing. There are tons of us who are still out there doing, AI enabled work on purpose. And that's my mission, is to make sure we're all still AI enabled humans on purpose. And Tony is one of them that can really help you make sense of all of these, kinds of things, which is why I think this is the perfect time for you to shameless plug how they talk to you, the human who can work through some digital marketing questions if they need a little advice. So how do people find you, follow along in your wisdom, and learn more about all this good stuff you're doing?
Well, I, due to my social media coach, I am on everything. So if you literally Google me, Tech Tony, TECTONY, no H in tech, just Tech Tony. And I have YouTube, I have TikTok, my newsletter, Facebook, Twitter, as well. So, and then of course on our website, on our contact us page, I have a calendar link right there. You can book with me directly if you want a consultation as well. So feel free to reach out to me any of those platforms. And if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to ask me a question at all. Like I enjoy teaching people what they can integrate into their business.
And I think that two things. One, you don't have to do this alone, because there are actually still humans out there, and it's not only AI that can support it.
And I want to add this to you. Don't do it alone. And if you have a company, don't point at the youngest person in your company, expect them to be able to do it.
That's such great advice.
So many times. You're young. Make me a Facebook page. Like, oh God.
Oh, you must know. And actually what's ironic is they probably know less than the, 37-year-old who's obsessed with Facebook. You don't have to do this alone. And like, that's what all of us are still here for. And I think the big thing is you may be surprised at what's possible and how you can become less intimidated or overwhelmed by all of the tech things when you just sit down and talk through it with a human who's actually informed and knows, because you don't have to question it anymore. I love it. This is, like I said, this has been my nerdiest conversation on No More Mondays, and I have loved it, which is why I'm going to ask you kind of our last question, Tony. And I'm more excited to ask you this question than anybody else I've asked it to. As you think about the future of work, what's it look like to you? And how can we humans stay human while navigating it?
Well, that's a great question. I wasn't waiting for the pop quiz.
That one's not in the pre-show flow on purpose.
It was not. I don't think it was, because I read that email. I was ready for this. What I see is, in every industry, as I mentioned earlier, those that integrate AI, whatever form that is, into their business will be the ones that learn to grow. Also, companies that create video content will also be the ones that grow as well. I sat across the table from Google during their conferences, and they said businesses that don't make video content will be struggling. And there's been a huge push towards video content on Google. Heck, YouTube beat, I think, Netflix, Paramount, and Disney combined in watch time. YouTube's a search engine.
Yeah. As a search engine, I was just going to say, it's a search. It's like second or third to Google as a search engine. Yeah.
Is a YouTube
and TikTok.
And it beat TikTok when it comes to viewership, not items sold on site. But anyway, those are two different metrics when it comes down to it. So I see those changes where businesses that leverage those, I wouldn't say our success, or I don't want to say success because that's different for different people, will have a better time growing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I can testify to that because I have clients in 14 different countries. I don't run ads or billboards or newspapers in Germany, but I have clients that contact me in Germany. And I go like, "How did you hear about me?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I followed your podcast, or I watched your YouTube videos. Now we just want to hire you to do it."
Yep, it was not on the Audubon.
It was not. Yeah, it was definitely on the Audubon. That's for sure. And that's how I have clients in 14 different countries for both of my businesses. I run 2 international online businesses. So condensing that down to your local industry, businesses that pick a platform to use, whether if you're a small business and you decide, "Hey, I'm going to use ChatGPT," or you're a franchise and franchise like, "Hey, we're going to integrate this into your business," have understanding of these tools so you can properly integrate them, not replace them.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Properly integrate, not replace, because while all these tools move fast and change and add and subtract, it is the human element that still matters most. And that is what makes you different and unique as a business owner, as a service provider. You have to use it to your advantage and not get sucked into what could easily hide all that. And I think the video thing and Google goes back to something we talked about earlier of it's clear, authentic human content that people can easily discern was created by human versus created by AI. And so I think it's really interesting. If you're afraid to get in front of the camera out there, you're doing your business a disservice.
It is, especially like, I'll give you one last story real quick. I had a client of mine that fired me last year and they went full AI and full AI. And I would love nothing more than AI that makes my job easier, especially when it comes to Google ads and going through data. All the models I've seen, they're just really advanced. It's Google Analytics with a different skin. That's all it is.
Yes.
Why am I paying for this? But this client, 4 months later, hit me up. It's like, "Tony, something's wrong. I need to hire you back." I'm like, "What happened?" Well, this AI he was using was losing 5% revenue week over week. And when I looked at that, I brought this up to some better professionals than me. They're like, "I don't know why they're doing this. AI cannot holistically run Google Ads." And they're like, it can't do that.
Yeah.
And be weary of that type of stuff. Like, like I said, you still need that human intervention, that human look. Like I said, if you can't afford to hire someone like me or Angie, go to Fiverr.com and hire someone for $100 a month because they're going to do a better job than you. It's a good starting point.
100%. Just don't go it alone, and definitely don't go it alone with only technology as your coworker. There you have it. It's as simple as that. The nerdiest conversation I've had on No More Mondays still ends with humans still matter. Tech Tony, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Angie.
Always a fun time around here on No More Mondays. And if this episode made you think differently about how you are or are not using technology in your business or life, reach out to us if we can help, or share this episode, because we love to share the love. And a reminder, if you haven't grabbed that scary good read called Scary Good, Discovering Life Beyond the Sunday Scaries, you can do so at scarygoodread.com. And until next week, I hope you have an excellent one. I will see you for another episode